Rise, grind, repeat. The power of daily discipline. What's up, everybody? Rebecca Louise here, the host of It Takes Grit podcast. This podcast is all about finding the grit that you need to help you get to where you want to be. Finding that burning desire inside of yourself and helping you get out of your own way to achieving your dreams. All right, so this week's episode, I want to just kind of dive in a little bit here because a lot of times we see things online and we see things maybe even in person and we think, oh, wow, that's really easy. Oh, I really want to live here, or I really want to have this business. And, it looks easy. And honestly, social media has made it sound easy sometimes to be very successful, to be a millionaire, to have loads of money, and to live in the house of your dreams. And I just want us to get real today about what it actually looks like to be successful. I don't want you to have any fluff. I don't want you to think anything is, I'm not going to leave anything off the table today. So this is going to help you, and I don't want it to scare you. Right? I think one of the biggest things, maybe people hype things up on social media because, they feel like it's going to put people off, talking about hard work. But I want to be honest with you. Is it worth it? Is being an entrepreneur worth it? In my eyes, absolutely. Because I'd never want to have a boss. I don't want to have anyone having to tell me where I need to be or when I need to be somewhere. That's not ever going to be for me. However, I wanted you to know the depth of how hard it can be. So it's always worth it though. So just know, right? It is worth it. It is worth the pain. It is worth the emotions. It is worth the ups and downs. Just like climbing to Mount Everest, it was hard. But oh my gosh, was it so worth it? Absolutely. So I want to talk about a little bit about the power of the daily disciplines, what it takes to be successful, and what it takes to have that income that you are looking to achieve, right? Because it's not easy. Most importantly, consistency is key for long-term success. It actually doesn't matter how talented you are at anything, or if you're naturally talented, or if you're naturally gifted. Work ethic will outbeat talent anytime. And I know this because I was not the most talented hockey player. I wasn't the most talented dancer. I wasn't the most talented at school in my schoolwork. But oh my gosh, could I outwork anybody? Because that's what I had on my side. Look for your strengths. It doesn't matter how good you are at something. It doesn't matter if you've got natural talent. I'm telling you, I'm proof of that. You can outbeat somebody's talent with work ethic. And a lot of times, people with work ethic are not the most talented. And more importantly, people who are the most talented at something don't have the work ethic because they don't feel like they need to do the work, right? They don't feel like they need to do something. So they never actually build that skill. So a lot of times, look at Tom Brady, for example. He definitely was not the best. He was like 6th round pick, like 198th or something pick in the NFL. Why did he become so great? Because he had to work. And that's what I'm telling you is that hard work will outbeat talent anytime, because somebody who's super talented, I feel, just doesn't have that burning desire inside of them, that just doesn't have that edge to say, you know what, I'm going to work harder to be better. They just don't have that because they're just naturally really good at it. So where is their drive to get better? It's just not there. It's actually better not to be super talented at something and to have work ethic, because work ethic will carry you through forever, for life. Talent, it won't. Because talent, you're like, oh, I'm really good at that, so you just won't even need to work. So I want you just to get in your head right now that if you're not super talented at something, fantastic. You're actually in the winning boat. You're actually in the winners category. And you can look at a whole bunch of different athletes and successful people, and they'll all tell you, hey, I wasn't the most talented, but oh my gosh, was I hella consistent, and could I work hard? So take off this story right now that you're not good at something, or take off this story that this is just not natural for you, or take this story away that that's just not something that I've ever been any good at. Brilliant. I don't want you to be good at it. I want you to want to be good at it. I want you to want to be able to create the skills that are going to help you get to where you want to be. So consistency is the most important thing for long-term success. Don't get in your head and think that you have to be any good at the beginning. You have to be in it for the long run. Entrepreneurship is hard. Most businesses do not make money within the first 2 years, okay? They either go out of business or they break even. That is a typical business, right? You buy a franchise, you even invest in something. 2 years. You got to be working 2 years, and you open a franchise that's $250,000. You're not getting that $250,000 back in 2 years. Very, very unlikely. So the whole goal is to not go out of business within 2 years and to break even. So some of you guys do something for 2 weeks or 2 months and you're like, oh, it's not working. Oh, I guess it's just not for me. No, you're such a baby. You've got to do something consistently for 2 years. And if that time you break even, great. You are already, I think it's 3% or something. It's such a small amount of businesses that stay in business after 2 years. It's like a tiny amount. And that's the beautiful thing about what I teach people with is that you don't need a huge franchise fee. You can start for $100 or less, which is crazy. But the other thing that was starting with such a low entry point is that you do have to make up with it in hard work, dedication, and consistency, okay? So I just want to be honest there, is that yes, when something is a really low entry point, like $100, and that is very low because most businesses are $250,000, right? You do have to make up with it for hard work. You do have to make up with it with getting uncomfortable. You do have to make up with it for getting outside of your comfort zone. You do have to make up with it with learning new skills. Okay? So when you first get started at something, you shouldn't be even contemplating quitting or not working out until you're 2 years in and you've been doing it consistently for 2 years. All right? So know that consistency is absolutely crucial for long-term success. You can't just do something for a week and then take a week off and do something for a month and then take 2 months off. You got to be in it for the long haul. You've got to stay consistent forever. It's hard. It is really, really hard. Business is emotional. Business is up and down and rejection after rejection and win and lose and rejection, deviate this, up, down, all over the place. It is emotional. Being an employee, you know exactly what to do. You have somebody telling you what to do. You arrive at the job. You start at a certain time. You know when you're ending because it literally says it on a piece of paper in your contract. You're told exactly what to do. You don't need to make any decisions, really. You might make decisions for some people that you're working with, but somebody else is making those decisions for you. So it's really quite simple. It's actually quite a nice life to be an employee, right? It works for most people. Most people do not want the headache of being an entrepreneur. They don't. Employee is a great life. You can work 9 to 5. You're off at 5 o'clock. You don't have to answer any emails. You don't have to work weekends. Or maybe sometimes you do work weekends, but you know what? You then get a whole summer off or whatever it is. Employee lifestyle is much easier than being an entrepreneur. 100 times. However, it doesn't give you the flexibility to live the life that you want to live. And that's why most people in life are employees, because that's the easier option. Entrepreneurialism is a much harder option. However, what do we talk about in the other podcast, right? The hardest part is always the most rewarding. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to keep working for the same people that you've worked for the next 10 years? Or do you want to get uncomfortable, know that it's going to be really stressful for 2 years, but after that, you could have an incredible life where you don't have to go in, you don't have to ask for time off, and you actually get to live life on your own terms. But you do have to make some sacrifices. Short-term choices for long-term goals. You can't expect to have your cake and eat it. You can't expect to have both. So no, it is so hard. But look, there's people there that are going to support you. There's people there that have been through it. There's people there that can tell you, hey, this is normal how you're feeling. But you got to communicate instead of just like disappearing and just like, just running away from everything, right? That's not a very smart thing to do. That's not a mature thing to do. It's, hey, how can I add value? How can I contribute? Instead of thinking, yeah, I'm just going to complain about what everybody else is doing, how can I contribute and participate? I see it a lot of times, people just go, oh, this is, it's just not working. This didn't work for me. Yeah, I'm just not going to do anything. Well, when was the last time that you participated? When was the last time that you contributed? You're not participating. You're not contributing. So why would you think that it would make a difference? Why would you think that, you're not getting to where you want to be? You have to participate. You have to contribute. And yes, it is hard. I did a team training last night, and we're talking about how do you onboard a new client? How do you roll out the red carpet? How do you make them feel incredible? There's a lot of stuff at the beginning. You got to make sure that they're set up properly, that you do the call with them for the first call, then there's the next call, and then there's the follow-up, and then there's making sure that they're in the client's chat and that they've got everything followed up and they have everything and that they're getting results. It's a lot of work. However, you look after somebody at the beginning and you roll out the red carpet for them, they're going to be a customer for you for life. So yes, at the beginning, it's a lot more work. It is hard. Oh my gosh, this person's messaged me. How am I going to fit 10 minutes in my day to be able to get them started on their products today? You make time. You make that 10 minutes. You make sure that you get on a call with them. It is hard. You got to rise, you got to grind, and you got to repeat over and over and over and over again until the job gets done, right? There's a great Art Williams sketch when he's like, you do it again, you do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And you do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And you rise, you grind, you repeat over and over and over again. You have to build that muscle. And I want you to get like excited about the grind, about it being hard, about you being like overwhelmed with all these different things that are happening that are going on, right? It is going to be hard, but it's going to be so, so worth it. I look back now and I started in 2013 as an entrepreneur, and I'm learning new things like every day, every month I have, breakthroughs, and I feel like there's better ways that I can do things. But one of the biggest things that I've learned is the more that I do, the quicker I'm able to find the best way that I'm able to help other people and to really make a difference. And so I know it's hard. I know there's season through my life where I'm like, I'm going to go harder and then it's going to be easier and I'm going to be able to chill out more. But don't get in your head thinking that this is just going to be an easy journey. You sign up as an entrepreneur and all of a sudden all this money just comes to you. It is not. You have to hustle hard. You have to go after it hard. You have to keep on showing up every day. You've got to rise. You've got to grind. You've got to repeat. You've got to find the power of those daily disciplines over and over and over and over again. And look, it's going to feel mundane. Mundane, non-sexy is what gets you results. Trying to be sexy and doing different things and taking away from the foundation, that's not what's going to get you a result. What is going to get you a result is doing the same thing over and over and over again and slightly adapting. Plan, do, review. The work is never going to change. I think so often we feel like, okay, if it's not working in the first week, we need to change it. If it's not working in the first month, we got to change it. We don't need to change it. We just need to do more of it to get more of the results. And we get into our head thinking like, oh, this is just mundane. Guess what? Entrepreneurialism is actually pretty mundane. You're like, oh, you want it to be like exciting and, and new and sexy and shiny object syndrome where you can get something. And yeah, it is exciting. But the foundations are always going to be the same. Getting customers, helping customers get results, and help getting people referrals. I mean, with any business, right? It's the same. Whether you've got Nike, Victoria's Secret, anything from Sephora, what do? They're doing the same thing over and over again. They're just trying to get in new customers. That's all business is customers. If you don't have a great product that you love, you can't sell the product. A business is, if you have a product that you're selling and you're getting customers. That's at the end of the day, right? Having a website or having products isn't actually having a business. Having customers is having a business. So you can make things look pretty. You can do a really beautiful website. You could do this, you could do that. But if you're not actually getting started with bringing in customers into your business, then what are you actually doing, right? So understand it's hard. Understand that it's mundane, and you're going to feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And great, that's what builds. Getting a new customer, however you want to get that new customer, great. You got to get a new customer. There's nothing ever going to change about entrepreneurialism. There's nothing that's going to change about how to grow your business than the very foundation of get a new customer. Whatever business it is, and it is going to feel mundane. That is what's going to get you the result, though. The results are going to come from the mundane, simple, foundational, simple work over and over and over again, which goes back to that consistency. Consistency is what you need for long-term success. Don't expect it to happen fast, though. Like I said at the beginning, 2 years. You got to knuckle down for 2 years. You got to be obsessed for 2 years. Nothing else comes in its way. You really want to do this? You really want to have the entrepreneur lifestyle after, a couple of years? It might even take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You want to have the lifestyle that, you look at all of these amazing pictures on social media. You want to have that? Well, you got to do the work to get there, and you got to be able to say for 2 years, I'm just going all in. I'm not making any decisions about anything else that I'm doing. If you really want this, you've got to go all in. So don't expect it to happen fast. Don't expect you're going to, get started with something and all of a sudden the first 30 days you're going to have 15 customers. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to take time to build. Just like a house. Think about how long a house takes to build. A really beautiful house, probably 2 years. Isn't that interesting? The same time. You wouldn't expect a house to have light fixtures in it in week 1. So why are you expecting your business to have everything that it needs perfectly in week 1? It's going to take time. It's going to take perseverance. It's going to take being consistent. And it's not going to happen fast. Some people get a little bit lucky the first week where everybody just kind of wants to get started. But I often find that the people that actually start really fast, when they don't have success as much as they do the second month as they did the first, they end up quitting because they go, oh, now it's not working anymore. Well, no, because this is just sometimes what happens in business. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. So take off the pressure. I think sometimes there's just, have you got pressure on yourself right now to go fast? But what is fast? What does that really mean? Because if you're brand new in something in less than 2 years, you shouldn't expect to be anywhere. You should expect to be making the progress that you need to make. You shouldn't expect to be retired. You shouldn't be expecting to make 10 grand a month. You shouldn't be expecting that. But what you can expect is after 2 years of you being fully in, you're going to set yourself up for success for the years moving forward because you made the choices. You made the choice to say, you know what? I got to be able to make decisions based on what I want in 5 years' time today. So whatever that means that you need to, not go to this or not go to this family thing or not go to this social event. You have to make those decisions. Otherwise, it's never going to happen at all. So don't expect anything to happen fast. My mentor told me right at the beginning, he said, Rebecca, you need to find the burning desire. He said, I can't teach that. He said, you need those 3 things. You need to be willing, got to be willing to do the work. You got to be hungry. You got to be coachable. And that hungry thing, that's that burning desire. If you don't have that burning desire, it's going to be really hard for you to build a business. It's going to be really hard for you to get results at anything in life. You have to find the why. You have to find that burning desire inside of you that says, I want this so much. I want this more than anything. I want these results. This is what I want for me and my family. I'm going to find that burning desire inside of me. And when you do that, it's what's going to wake you up every day. Like, I have a burning desire inside of me to be better, to achieve more, to create something greater than I am, to have more impact in the world. Like, I'm so clear on my why, it creates that burning desire inside of you. But if you don't have that burning desire right now, this is going to be your homework. Because if you don't have that hunger, you don't have that drive, you don't have that like feeling inside of you that's like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait until this happens. I can't wait until I have this kind of lifestyle. I can't wait until I have this. I can't wait till I help this person. If you don't have that inside of you, the motivation is not going to be there. And how do you get that burning desire? Great question. You need to find out what you really want. Okay? So that's your homework for this week. What do you really, really want? And go 10 levels deep. So if you say, hey, I want to have more flexibility. Great. Why do you want to have more flexibility? Then you answer that question. And I want you to go 10 levels deep. Because once you get to that 10th level, that is when you are going to find out what your burning desire is. That is going to give you the burning desire inside of you. And when you really attach yourself to that, why it's so important to achieve, it's going to help you wake up every day with that fire in your belly, with that excitement for the day. And no matter what comes to you that day, what challenges you face, you have this burning desire inside of you that the flame doesn't burn out. Some of you guys are like, your flame inside of you is just like, it's gone. So we got to get connected back to that why. So that's your homework for this week, okay? I want you to really focus on what do you really want, but 10 levels deep. And when you get to that 10th level deep, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to like almost imagine putting that into your stomach. I mean, imagine you putting that burning desire of what you said you really wanted into your body. Because when that's in your body and you emotionally connect that why to that feeling of that burning desire inside of you, you're going to wake up every day with a bit more of a hop in your step. You're going to wake up a bit more with more aggression to go after your goals, with more determination. And you're going to find the daily discipline. Because if you want to be disciplined, you have to figure out why you want to be disciplined. And it's not going to be some surface level at the top. It's going to be something really low down here that is truly inside of your gut. So do the homework, find out what that why is, get that burning desire, and keep on going. Rise, and you're going to grind, and you're going to repeat to help you have the power of those daily disciplines. Awesome job for showing up for yourself today. Remember, it's not what you learn and you listen to. It's all about what you implement. You have the choice today to implement what I'm sharing, and that's what's going to get you the results that you're after. All right, I'll see you next time.